Prosecutors have worked hard to try to convince jurors that Gabrielle Nestande was intoxicated on the night in question.
And they're doing that without solid proof a blood alcohol test provides. KXAN's Casey James looks at how the evidence in these types of cases is changing with our changing times.
Social media is becoming the new secret weapon for attorneys.
I look at every one of my clients' social media websites, and I think every prosecutor, if they don't now, they will start to.
When it comes to DWIs, in Texas, there are 3 ways the law can prove someone is drunk: by either blood or breath scoring over .08, or the loss of mental or physical faculty determined by an officer present at the time of an incident. But there is none of that in the Nestande case.
Investigators and police officers going to bars, bartenders, getting surveillance tapes, getting eyewitness statements, things like that, where in most instances it just doesn't happen that way.
And using social media to build their case. But the state might not have had to fight so hard if the penalty for those who do not stop and render aid were higher.
Failure to stop and render aid is only a 3rd-degree felony, whereas intoxication assault, intoxication manslaughter, those are more serious crimes. So in a way, a suspect has an incentive to flee the scene.
Currently, there is a bill at the Capitol that would raise the penalty for those who do not stop and render aid, given no incentive for people to drive off. Bill Lewis is a policy liaison for Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, pushing for several new bills in this legislation.
One, to give law enforcement agencies guidelines for running sobriety checkpoints. Texas is one of only 11 states that does not run sobriety checkpoints.
Second bill is an ignition interlock device for people who have been convicted of drunk driving, similar to a breathalyzer to start the engine.
About 1,200 people will die in Texas because of drunk drivers in 1 year. Less than 800 will die in California in 1 year. That is a heck of a difference, especially considering the huge population difference.
In Austin, Casey James, KXAN News.
The U.S. Supreme Court found checkpoints do not violate the 4th Amendment of unreasonable seizure. Therefore, checkpoints are illegal. However, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals said since there are no guidelines for checkpoints in the state, they are not constitutional in Texas. MAD says they will continue to fight until the state passes the bill allowing law enforcement to conduct those checkpoints. But we wanted to see how serious drinking and driving is here in Austin. In 2011, APD reported more than 4,200 DWI cases. And officers say out of those cases, 284 people had blood alcohol content of .15 or higher. Well, last year, the numbers went up. APD recorded more than 4,500 DWI cases, and a startling figure here, 927 people recorded a blood alcohol content of .15 or higher.